I was on Facebook the other day, and a friend of mine posted a meme that was very well intentioned. No, nothing against this friend, but it did get me thinking. The meme said, "It's not about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning to dance in the rain." Such a sweet little adorable sugar-coated load of crap. Just kidding, kind of. Basically, what this meme neglects to do is help anybody who's going through any actual rainstorm, figurative rainstorm in their life. And I wouldn't really look at it so much as a rainstorm, because rain is cleansing and is soothing to me. To me, it's more of a puddle full of mud and gross awfulness. That's kind of how I feel about it, at least. Just to give you a bit of history of my personal mud puddle, and there have been many, but the one that I'm currently going through is particularly tough for me. I have recently been diagnosed with something that's called undifferentiated connective tissue disease, UCTD. They also refer to it as latent lupus or incomplete lupus. It's basically that my doctor hasn't been able to diagnose lupus at this current point in time, but they're getting close to that. We don't really know what it's going to be, but how it's kind of looked in my life, it started almost a year ago when I moved to Texas. I started to feel really fatigued and had just overwhelming lethargy. Didn't really have the energy to get a lot of things that I normally just do done. When that was happening, I went into my general practitioner and they did some tests. I kind of moved on with my life and just kind of tried to work through it. But then it sort of took a nasty turn and it turned into this very itchy, very painful rash that kind of covered my entire torso, down my arms and my armpits, kind of everywhere. It was really terrible, so I went back into the doctor and they sent me to an endocrinologist, a dermatologist, a rheumatologist, every kind of ologist you can possibly imagine to try and figure this thing out. They ended up putting me on immunosuppressants, which, like they say, suppress my immune system. My immune system that's supposed to be helping me is attacking me, so they have to try and calm it down with medication. That medication didn't work fully, so they had to put me on steroids to try and get this rash to calm down. Steroids, if you've never been on them, don't. If you can avoid it, they're terrible. To give you an idea, I have gained in the neighborhood of 30 pounds due to steroids. They make you bloated and hangry and awful, and so I was on those for weeks, and eventually the rash went away. And I thought, okay, I'm in the clear. And then about 4 weeks ago it came back. Now, with more blood tests and all kinds of tests, I had to give it a huge skin sample, biopsy, for them to try and figure out how to help me. All of this is not to say, oh, feel bad for me, my life is so hard, boo. No, I'm not saying that. I have a great life. I have so much to be very thankful for. I am just saying that I get mud puddles, and I am currently in one. So this is just as much about me as it is about anybody else. Basically, what I wanted to say is that everyone has mud puddles in their life, and everyone will have them. They're of varying degrees. What I'm talking about is more not a I got a flat tire today mud puddle, but I'm talking about a more hardcore sort of mud puddle. More like I lost someone that I really love, or in my case, obviously chronic illness and things that are more long-term and more of a challenge to overcome. When those arise, you will have people in your life that will come to you and they will say, oh, you're just fine. You just get on up, you pick yourself up by those bootstraps, you dance in that rain. Those people, simply put, are idiots. Those people are sympathetic, which is not helpful to you whatsoever. Those are the kind of people, they kind of want to distance themselves from where you're at. They don't want to feel those feelings with you, and they have no desire to really be there for you. Those are the people that you avoid at all costs. The kind of people that you want to be around are empathetic people. And empathetic people are the kind of people that will sit in that puddle with you, regardless if they're already in their own puddle or not. They've experienced a puddle before and they want to be there with you. And that doesn't even mean that they have to say anything. They can just sit there with you and eat cookie dough straight out the tube on the couch while you cry. Whatever you need to do to feel the feelings that you need to feel when you're in that mud puddle. So what you do is you sit there, You feel them, you look them all in their mean, ugly faces, and you overcome those feelings of fear and anger and sadness and insecurity and helplessness. You overcome them by feeling them. And that's not to say you're never going to feel them again, because that's unfortunately the flawed world that we live in. You probably will feel them again. But it is to say that you are stronger than you know. You are able to overcome this. And there's sometimes an inclination to sort of stay in that puddle and take up residence and throw yourself a perpetual pity party, alliteration, perpetual pity party. When that happens, you need to reverse your thinking, because that's when you have gotten into victimhood, and that's a dangerous, dangerous place, because victimhood, it's what you want to avoid. It's when you are stuck in feeling sorry for yourself and wanting everyone to feel sorry for you. That is not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is taking the time that you need to feel the things that you need to feel. And nobody puts that time limit on there but yourself. You decide how long that's going to be. And you're going to know. You're going to know when you're ready to get out, when you're ready to move on. How much more appreciative will you be when you have a clean backside, after you know what it's like to have a dirty one, after you know what it's like to sit in that puddle? And so you are then stronger, you have then grown, and growth is hard. And it hurts, and it's terrible, and no one wants to go through the necessity of pain before growth, but that's the way it is. You're in that puddle, you face your feelings, and never ever lose sight of hope. Never ever forget that this is temporary. Everything is temporary. Hold on to that hope. You will get out of this. You will be better for it. You will be able to help other people and be a more empathetic, beautiful, wise human that you're supposed to be. And you won't be one of those people that just skips on by and pretends that nothing's wrong and ends up carrying all their mud puddly nastiness with them everywhere. You won't be that person. You will be above that and be able to help somebody else on the other side. And that's kind of what I'm hoping to accomplish here, is to let people know that they're not alone, because there's something so isolating about sitting in a mud puddle and feeling like you are the only one experiencing what you're experiencing. You're not alone. I'm here. There are tons of others of us. I know there are. We just need to band together and be there for each other and be able to cry through the really hard things and laugh at the funny things, because life is funny. There are funny aspects to even the saddest of circumstances. I promise. If you just look for them, you can find them. We all are in this together, though, and we need to support each other through it. Let's do this together. Let's get through this. Let's be the strong, amazing people that we're going to be on the other side of this. We are not alone. We are in this together.